Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Urshifu Radio, and oh my goodness, have I got news for you. Ladies and gentlemen, we have gone a little bit nuts with Pokemon TCG news over the past half an hour. It's going to take me a little while to bring it all to you. There's a lot of cards been revealed. We are not going to get to them all even today. What we are going to get to is the big news, and the big news is that the new Pokemon TCG set has been officially revealed. Our next set, which is coming out in March, has been officially revealed. We know the name, we know a bunch about it. It is called Battle Styles, and it is releasing on the 19th of March. For what it's worth, 19th of March is the date that we had in mind for this. Do bear in mind this is a month late. This is our February set. We expect it in February, not in March. So it is a month late, but again, this is inevitable given the whole COVID thing. And these were going to be the world announcements. I am 100% certain that this was going to be the announcements that we got at the World Championships. It makes way too much sense not to be. We were going to be getting announcements. We always get announcements at Worlds about new cards and mechanics or whatever. This was going to be the Worlds announcements, but unfortunately there was no Worlds. They waited longer than I thought they would. Mid-December is late to show us these, but they've shown us them, and that is awesome. And Battle Styles, it starts year 2 of the Pokemon trading card game in terms of Sword and Shield. This is Sword and Shield 5. It is the start of year 2, and they are bringing in Single Strike and Rapid Strike cards. And if you want a parallel for these are very much like Double Crisis. Now, Double Crisis was a mini set that came around with Team Aqua and Team Magma, and the cards were put into Team Aqua or Team Magma. So all of the Pokemon were Team Aqua or Team Magma, and then you had all kinds of cards which helped them out. Team Aqua's Great Ball, search for a basic Team Aqua Pokemon and a basic Water Energy, and put them into your hand. Whereas Team Magma's Great Ball, search for a basic Team Magma Pokemon and a basic Fighting Energy, and put them into your hand. And that is a kind of thing we've got here. We are splitting Pokemon up into Single Strike and Rapid Strike, and there are certain cards which only work with one type of them, though it is very important to point out that these are not the only cards coming in the next Japanese set and the next English set. Need to remember English here, because we are going to be getting non-Single Strike Rapid Strike Pokemon. It just so happens that Single Strike and Rapid Strike, that is very much the hook here, but as I've said, these are not the only ones that we are getting. So there's your kind of bullet points about the new set. Releasing on March the 19th, brings in Single Strike and Rapid Strike Pokemon, and these are Pokemon that will have particular bonuses depending on whether they are Single Strike or Rapid Strike. And I suppose if we really want to show off these new Pokemon, we should probably look at Urshifu. We are going to be grouping cards together over the next few videos more than we usually would, because they have gone completely ridiculous cuckoo nuts over the top with news. So let's have a look at a whole bunch of Urshifu. So Single Strike Urshifu comes in with 220 HP, which honestly for a Pokemon V is high. It's not ridiculous. We've seen higher. Zamazenta V has 230, so it's about as high as we get, but we have seen just a little bit higher. It is a fighting Pokemon, weakness 2 Psychic, retreat cost of 2, all fairly standard. If we put that side by side with Rapid Strike Urshifu, we've got the same HP of 220, the same retreat of 2, and we've actually got the same weakness 2 Psychic and the same fighting type. So stats-wise, both Single Strike and Rapid Strike Urshifu are exactly the same. But it's of course extremely relevant because retreat cost of 2 means that Air Balloon will give you free retreat, which is nice. Weakness to Psychic is annoying because Mewtwo and Mew is seeing more play now than it has done for a while. It started to be played in Pikachu and Zekrom decks and all sorts lately. becoming friendly with lightning. And of course, being a fighting type means you are hitting weakness on stuff like Eternatus VMAX and the aforementioned Pikachu and Zekrom, which is really kind of cool. Now, if we have a little bit of a look at the attacks here, Single Strike Urshifu V comes in with an attack for 1 fighting energy that searches your deck for up to 2 fighting energy and attaches them to this Pokemon, and then lets you shuffle your deck. Which is kind of cool, honestly. This is rather lovely. It means you can get the second attack rolling very quickly, though I should mention that there is a Houndoom coming that will accelerate energy to Single Strike Urshifu. Any Single Strike Pokemon will get there in a little bit, but it's relevant to mention now. For free energy, you do 180 and you cannot use this next turn, but 180 is enough to get a one-hit KO on an Eternatus VMAX, on a Pikachu and Zekrom, etc. With weakness, it's 360, and 360 is gigantic and awesome and brilliant, and is definitely the number you want to be hitting. As for the 180, normally you'll get a bunch of weaker GXs and Pokemon V and all of that. You'll get something like Morile, for instance, but you're not going to be getting up to things like Zacian V, which you're honestly going to want to, so it's a little bit sad. Although do remember that you are a fighting Pokemon, so you can use Martial Arts Dojo to do extra damage. 10 for a basic fighting, 40 if you're behind on prizes. You can use Karate Belt to lower your attack cost if you're behind on prizes, etc. There are some bonuses that we have here. Moving over into Rapid Strike, it's not really any more rapid, but for 1 fighting energy, you do 30 damage and switch to the bench. It's a hit and run Pokemon. Yay! So you would want to put something in the active that could take a hit. So something like a Lily's Pokédoll, for instance, that when KO'd doesn't give up a prize. That could be kind of nice. Or something like a Galarian Weezing that turns off abilities when it's in the active. Would be another one here that you should absolutely be considering. It's a hit and run Pokemon. It's pretty good. Yeah, the 30 damage is kind of low, if I'm honest with you, but we often do see this. Of course, it's kind of interesting to note that Hitmonchan was a basic Pokemon that had the same attack, and, well, it didn't give up multiple prizes. But then again, it didn't have 220 HP, so basically Rapid Strike Urshifu is Hitmonchan. Cool. But for free energy, you do 150 damage, but you can attack next turn. And thematically, this is kind of cool. If we look at the second attack side by side, 150 damage for Rapid Strike Urshifu is not as much as 180 for Single Strike Urshifu, but then Rapid Strike Urshifu can use the attack turn after turn, where Single Strike has to take a turn off. So, yeah, this is, rather extremely relevant, shall we say. Although 150 damage is kind of sad, because although it will get a Pikachu and Zekrom, you will not be getting a one-hit KO on an Eternatus VMAX. You need to be doing 170 to get the KO with weakness, and even if you add on a Martial Arts Dojo, if you're not behind on prizes, that's only 160, and you will fall 20 damage short. But of course, what is the point of introducing these lovely new Pokemon if we're not going to give them lovely new Pokemon VMAXs? Of course we're giving them lovely new VMAXs. Would be kind of rude not to. So let's take a look at Single Strike Urshifu VMAX. No translation needed here. They showed us English cards. Now, both of these Pokemon go up to 330 HP in their VMAX form. The Single Strike actually gains and goes up to 3 retreat cost. The Rapid Strike stays at 2, but, you know, Rapid Strike faster. You would maybe expect that. They both keep the same kind of annoying weakness to Psychic, which will be relevant for the whole Mewtwo and Mew thing. And they gain a couple of attacks. So starting off with a Single Strike then, free energy, 100 damage. I will say it's an evolved Pokemon, it's a VMAX, so that means that triple acceleration energy is absolutely on the table here to go and do a whole bunch of damage for just a single energy attachment. But the 100 damage just doesn't hit the numbers. It doesn't even get Eternatus V, which is kind of the weakest one you'd really be looking for here. I will say that you'll get Dedenne GX and you'll get Crobat V. These are relevant Pokemon that see a huge amount of play that are weak to fighting. So, actually, I take that back. Being able to get a KO on either of them for a triple acceleration energy does seem extremely relevant, especially when you consider that Dedenne can be grabbed into the active with a great catcher and KO'd. That's kind of big. And then for 4 energy, you do 270 damage, discarding all energy from this Pokemon, but it's not affected by any effects on your opponent's active Pokemon. So the 270 here is honestly a little bit low. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but 270 damage, you're not getting VMAXs. And you're a VMAX with 4 energy on, although do remember, VMAXs generally don't tend to KO each other all that much. So essentially what we've got here is you will get a Pikachu and Zekrom, you will get a Reshiram and Charizard, etc., but you're not getting a Arceus and Alga and Palkia. Now, to be fair, you'll be 10 damage short, and Martial Arts Dojo will do it, but the fact that you've got to have something to add damage can be a little bit sad. And you do have to discard all of your energy. But remember, I've told you about the Houndoom that accelerates energy. And I've told you about Karate Belt that can help here. And don't forget that Rose, if you discard your hand, can attach 2 energy from your discard pile to one of your Pokemon VMAX. My point is here, yes, it's 4 energy, and yes, you're discarding them all to attack. But this is weirdly not as bad as it might sound. As strange as that is. You're not getting VMAXs unless you're hitting for weakness, which is a little bit sad, but you are getting a whole bunch of... Well, you're getting all the GXs, and you're getting most of the tag teams. There are a few you'll fall a little short, and you're getting all the Vs, but just not the VMAXs. It's still a huge amount of damage. Moving over into the Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX. For 1 energy, 30 damage. If you came into the active this turn, you do 120 more. And I love this. This is phenomenal. Single energy, 150 damage. Yes! Definitely yes. This reminds me very much, and probably does a bunch of you, of Golisopod GX. Golisopod GX had a very similar kind of thing, whereby if it became active, you did 120 damage. Well, this is 150 damage and hits a way better weakness. This will get a one-hit KO on an Eternatus. It will get a one-hit KO on a Pikachu and Zekrom. You're still 20 damage away from an Eternatus, but honestly, because it's a single energy attack, just play Vitality Band with your Martial Arts Dojo and you'll be fine. If I'm using 3 or 4 energy to attack, I don't want to also need a Stadium and a tool to get a KO on a free prize Pokemon. But if you're telling me I need 1 energy and a tool and a Stadium to take free prizes off one of the best Pokemon in the game, at this stage I am feeling an awful lot more generous and charitable. This, as far as I'm concerned, from everything we've seen of the Urshifu, and I'm showing you all the Urshifu here, this is the best of them. This attack here is why I love this. Plus, of course, the fact that you've got a retreat cost of 2 is huge, because it means you can use Air Balloon, and it's just retreat to another Pokemon, switch into Urshifu, and you're off and rolling. Though do bear in mind I have already mentioned Vitality Band and Karate Belt. You can only have 1 tool on. You will need to choose between them. But I adore this. And of course, if you're switching in and out of the active, Jirachi. Now, I know Jirachi's going to rotate out about 6 months after this comes out, but it's about 5 to 6 months. So you play a bunch of Switch, and you play a bunch of Scoop Up Net, and you just retreat into Jirachi. And use Jirachi's awesome ability to find a trainer card from the top 5 cards of your deck and put it in your hand. And then you switch your Scoop Up Net into Rapid Strike Urshifu. And it's actually got a really nice second attack as well. For 3 energy, you discard all energy from this Pokemon and do 120 to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon. Yes! Now, admittedly, we are beyond the days where you could use this to get a KO on 2 Shaymin, but do remember we still have Telescopic Sight, which will add 30 damage to any attacks you do to benched GXs and Vs, which is kind of cool. And this one is extremely relevant. Now, another card which we'll talk about properly later, but I've got to mention very quickly here, there is a Rapid Strike energy that just provides 2 water or fighting energy. So that seems to work beautifully with this. I mean, literally, a Karate Belt and a single strike energy will pay this attack cost, assuming you're behind on prizes. If you're not, you'll need to find a way to get a third energy on there. But then again, I've already mentioned Rose and all of that, so there are definitely ways around it. And now all of a sudden, you're golden. You're absolutely golden. So you've got one attack that does 120 plus 30, so 150 if you come out of this turn, for a single energy, and another that does 120 to 2 of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Yes! Rapid Strike, Urshifu VMAX and V, I'm giving 4 Wassies. It does a huge amount of damage. There's a lot of potential. It's got to be something you're keeping in mind here. I do think it's a good Pokemon. I do think the 270 is huge. I do think being able for a triple acceleration energy to get a KO on a Crobat is great. Maybe I'm underselling this one. But I am giving Rapid Strike Urshifu a big fat 5 Wassies here, because I think both these attacks are very, very payable and ridiculously good, and I am excited. There are a whole bunch more Single Strike and Rapid Strike Pokemon and tricks for them, some of which we've seen, some of which we haven't, and I'm going to be showing you all of those over today and the next few days. For now, we've got new Urshifu V, new Urshifu VMAX, and we know what the new set is going to be. This is the most hyped I've been about the Pokemon trading card game in a while, and that is saying an awful lot, ladies and gentlemen. But for now, I want to know what you think about the set. I want to know what you think about the cards. I want you to go nuts, but I want you to be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWassie, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.